Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So my name is Athirah Binti and my number entry is 20238515546. So today, my group and I will be presenting about Malaysia National Education System, which is focusing on the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 to 2025. So I'll be begin by explaining the background, purpose and the key contributors behind this important plan. So education plays a big role in shaping a country, not just by giving knowledge, but also by building values, unity, and national identity. However, before this blueprint was introduced, our education system had several serious problems. Even though Malaysia invested a lot in education, which is 16% of the national budget and 3.8% of the GDP, our students' performance in international assessment like PISA and TIMS was dropping. This showed that money also wasn't enough. So the teaching methods were outdated, which is students focus more on memorizing rather than thinking critically. And there were clear gaps between the urban and the rural schools. This is between their income levels. So on top of that, students lack key 21st century skills like digital literacy, communication, and a strong character. So to address this issue, the Malaysia Education Blueprint was introduced in 2013. It is a 13-year plan to transform the education system and prepare students to succeed in today's fast-changing world. The blueprint was launched by the Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak and presented by the Deputy Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. What makes it meaningful is that it wasn't just made by the government. It was supported by over 55,000 stakeholders, including teachers, parents, students, and education experts who all give their feedback and ideas. This wide involvement helped to ensure this blueprint was not only strategic, but also practical and relevant to what people in the education system actually needed. So in summary, the Malaysia Education Blueprint was introduced to solve the major issues in our education system and to make sure every student in Malaysia has access to quality education and they can reach their full potential, not just in academic, but also in emotional and the social growth.
Okay, now let's talk about policy problem. Firstly is lagging student outcome despite high spending. Malaysia allocates about 16% of the federal budget or 3.8% of its GDP to education, which is higher than many developed countries like Singapore and Japan. But sadly, the outcome do not reflect this spending. For example, in TIMSS 2011, more than a third of our students failed to meet the basic level in math and science. In PISA 2009, almost 60 of our 15 years old scored below the basic level in math. Interestingly, countries like Vietnam spend less on education but perform better. This raises a major concern. Are we using our resources wisely? According to the World Bank, most of our spending goes to the teacher salaries, not to improving teaching quality or learning material. So, to improve outcome, we need to focus more teaching training, curriculum reform, and better learning environment. Secondly is skill gaps. The second major issue is the lack of higher order thinking skill or HOTS. Our students are good at memorizing and following steps but struggle with creativity, problem solving, and critical thinking. Although the Ministry of Education introduced HOTS through the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 to 2025 and through KSSR and KSSM, there are still many challenges. These include unprepared teachers, outdated teaching methods, and school culture that don't support active thinking or innovation. This is a key reason why our students struggle in international assessment that test real-world application of knowledge. Okay, last but not least, the last point is inequity and access issue. Finally, we face issue inequality in education. Students in urban areas generally perform better than those in rural areas because they have more resources and better school facilities. Students from low-income families also struggle. They may lack basic learning material, a quiet place to study, or access to tuition. On top of that, in some areas, cultural norm can limit educational opportunity for girls. Why the government has introduced programs like sponsorship for B40 students and special education program for students with disabilities, the achievement gap is still wide. The goal was to reduce this gap by 2020, but clearly, there's still a lot to be done to ensure fair and equal access to quality education.
Now, let's look at the main policy objectives of the Malaysia Education Blueprint. The first objective is to understand the current challenge in our education system. This means looking at how the system is really performing, especially in the terms of access, quality, equity, and the social unity. So the goal here is to figure out where we are going well and where we need to improve, especially in closing the gap between the urban and the rural schools, and making sure every student, no matter their background, gets the same opportunities. Next, for the second point, the blueprint focuses on developing a shared vision for the future of education in Malaysia. It lays out a 13-year roadmap to create not just academically strong students, but also students who are confident, responsible, and globally competitive. In other words, it's about building a future generation that can succeed in the world and live in harmony with others. Finally, the blueprint aims to implement major reforms across the system. These include change in curriculum, teacher training, school leadership, assessment, and even how the Ministry of Education itself operates. The focus is on making the entire system more effective, transparent, and student-focused, so that we can truly deliver high-quality education for all. So in short, these three objectives show that the Malaysia Education Blueprint is more than just a policy. It is a serious long-term commitment to improving our education system from every angle and preparing our students to thrive in a rapidly changing world.
So, good morning everyone. Today I will briefly explain the key strategy policy under the Malaysian Education Blueprint 2030 until 2025. This is a major national effort to transform our education system. The first major strategy is equity in education. This means giving every student, no matter their background or location, a fair chance to success. Special focus is given to students in rural area, from low-income family, indigenous group like orang asli, and students with disability. The government support them through improved school infrastructure, qualified teacher, financial aid, and inclusive education program. Next is technology in education. Technology is used not just as a tool but as a core part of teaching and learning. Students are encouraged to learn through video games, and online projects. At the same time, teachers are trained in using digital tools and school use data system to track student progress and improve decision making. This helps bridge the digital divide and prepare students for the modern world. So next is three-wave implementation. The three-wave key strategy is three-wave implementation plan. For wave 1, 2013 until 2015, focus on fixing basic problems like illiteracy, numeracy, and teacher quality. So for wave 2, 2016 until 2020, expand a successful program and give more power to local school. Next is Wave 3 2021 until 2025 aims to reach a world-class standard by promoting innovation and giving schools more independence and accountability. This step-by-step rollout allows reform to be tested, improved, and scale up gradually. So next, I will giving to my next presenter. Thank you.
Hello, madam. My name is Nur Alisa Saida. Today, I will talk about the policy evaluation of Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 until 2025. This policy is a very important and detailed plan that aims to transform Malaysia education system and make it stronger, fairer, and more future ready. Firstly, politically, the blueprint has a strong support from the Ministry of Education and the Prime Minister Office. This shows that education is not just a ministry level task but a top national priority. The policy aligns with the national development plans like Malaysia Madani, which promote values like sustainability and respect, and make it also support the global goals like Sustainable Development Goals 4, SDG 4, which is about providing equality and inclusive education for all. The blueprint also promotes decentralization, meaning schools and local education office are given more power to make decisions. This makes the education system more flexible and responsive to the real needs of community. For example, schools in rural areas can choose to focus more on basic reading and writing program if their students are in struggle in those areas. And secondly, we can see based on economically, the blueprint focus on using money efficiently. It does not just ask for a bigger budget but ensure that the same resources are used in the smarter way. The government encourage public-private partnership, especially in higher education for share costs and improve quality. For example, private universities like Sunway and Taylor's work with the government bodies to offer scholarship and research programs. The policy also support TVET, technical and vocational education training, which trains students for real world job and reduce unemployment. A good example is how TVET College now work closely with industry like manufacturing and hospitality to provide hands-on training. This helps students to get job faster and help the economic growth. From the social point of view, the blueprint puts a strong focus on social equity. One of its goals is to reduce achievement gaps between students based on income, gender, and where they live. It targets about 50% reduction of this gap within 10 years. It promotes national unity by bringing students from different races and religions together in school. Program like REMOVE, Rancangan Integrasi Murid untuk Perpaduan, encourage activities that build friendship and mutual respect, such as grow culture games, music event, and share celebration. The policy also stresses about the importance of parental and community involvement, reminding us that education is not just about responsibility of teachers, but the whole society. For example, many schools now have Parent-Teachers Association, PTAs, that organize reading program or fundraising for school facilities. On this second slide, I will talk on the technological side. The policy embraces modern tools to improve learning. It promotes massive open online course and blended learning, which makes face-to-face teaching with online content. This approach became even more useful during COVID-19 pandemic when digital learning became necessary. Now, many schools use platforms like Google Classroom, Zoom, or Microsoft Teams. The blueprint also supports the use of data analytics to monitor performance at all levels from students' results to national trends. This helps the Ministry of Education make smart, evidence-based on decision. Also, Malaysia takes part in international assessment like PISA, Program for International Student Assessment, and TIMSS, Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study, which help compare our students' skills with those in other countries. Legally, Malaysia education system is governed by the federal laws such as the Education Act 1969. This ensures all states follow the same curriculum and rules. The blueprint also includes structured accountability system where schools and district office and education department are regularly evaluated. This evaluation use key performance indicators (KPIs) to measure success and ensure transparency. If schools are not performing well, they receive support or intervention to improve. This helps the equality of education consistent across the country. Lastly, the environmental aspect is also included in the blueprint, although it is not the main focus. It still promotes sustainability education as a part of broader development goals. Students are encouraged to learn about the climate change, recycling, protecting the environment through subjects like science, geography, civic education. Many schools now have eco clubs, tree planting campaigns, or no plastic bag. And this activity helps students to develop awareness, responsibility toward nature. It also supports Malaysian community to global efforts like UN SDGs. In conclusion, the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 and 2025 is a powerful and complete strategy that improve education in many ways, not just in teaching but also in through smart governance, Malaysian economic plan, or social unity, technology, law, and sustainability. It connects Malaysia local values with global goals and prepares students for a fast-changing world. For those who want to do a future research, there are many interesting topics to explore, such as how school autonomy affects student achievement, how TVET reduce unemployment, and also this blueprint show that with the strong vision and teamwork can help build a better future for education.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the first recommendation, which is the reduced focus on high-stakes exams to promote teacher-led assessment. So this is inspired by Finland. So first, we suggest Malaysia should reduce its strong focus on national exams like UPSR and SPM. These exams often cause unnecessary stress and push students to memorize rather than understand. In Finland, teachers assess students through classroom activities, discussions, and also projects. This approach allows teachers to better understand each student's progress and learning style. So by doing the same in Malaysia, we can help students learn more deeply and develop skills like creativity and problem solving that go beyond just passing exams. Okay, the next recommendation is about expand and strengthen technical and vocational education and training, TVET. This is inspired by Singapore. So next, we recommend expanding and improving Malaysia's TVET programs. Many students have different talents and interests, and not all want to follow academic pathways. So Singapore provides strong vocational education options that lead to good jobs in various industries. Malaysia should strengthen its TVET sector by offering more programs that match industry needs and working with companies to design practical training. This gives students more choices and helps them prepare for real-world careers, reducing unemployment and skill gaps. Okay, the third recommendation is to promote moral and civic education through school culture. It is inspired by Japan. So this is another important step to promote strong moral and civic values in schools. So in Japan, students are taught discipline, respect and responsibility from an early age. It is not just in lessons, but it's through daily activities like cleaning the classroom or sharing meals. This helps build a sense of community and also a national pride. Malaysia can adopt a similar approach by encouraging respect for different cultures and promoting school programs that build teamwork, empathy, and social responsibility. This is especially important in a diverse country like ours.
Okay, the next recommendation is about support continuous professional development and collaboration among teachers. This is inspired by Finland. So, teachers need continuous training and support to do their best. In Finland, teachers work closely together to plan lessons, share ideas, and improve teaching methods. They have time during the week to collaborate and learn from each other. So in Malaysia, we should create strong professional learning communities, PLCS, in schools where teachers can reflect on their practice, attend workshops and receive coaching. So this not only improves teaching quality but also builds a supportive school environment. Okay, lastly, we recommend developing a more supportive and balanced accountability system. In Singapore, schools regularly assess themselves and receive feedback from outside experts. This is not to shame or punish them but to help them improve. So, Malaysia can adopt a similar system where schools are encouraged to grow through constructive feedback. Sharing schools' performance data with teachers, parents, and communities also helps build transparency and trust in education system. In conclusion, Malaysia's national education policy is designed to transform our education system into one that is high quality, inclusive, and ready for the future. The policy focuses on solving key problems like poor student performance, unequal access between urban and rural areas, and a lack of critical thinking skills among students. Through reforms such as improving teacher training, using more digital learning tools, and making sure all students, regardless of their background, get equal opportunities. The policy aims to prepare students not just to pass exams but also to succeed in their real life. If the reforms continue to be supported and improved over time, this policy can truly help shape a better future for both our students and the nation as a whole.